And in Russia, Vladimir Putin has tightened control over information about the war in Ukraine. Some social media have been restricted, and foreign media, France 24 included, have had to stop broadcasting or reporting from the country. That after a new law was enacted that said anyone spreading false information about the war could be sent to prison for 15 years. Of course, the Kremlin choosing what it calls false information. For more, we can speak to our Moscow bureau chief, Elena Volochine. Hello, Elena. Don't know if I should call you current bureau chief, former bureau chief, but the point is you're here in Paris talking to us now. Give us more on that. What's the situation with the press, with dissent, freedom of speech in the country? What is it like to be a journalist in Russia?
The situation is that if you would have been in Russia now and you would have given this lead talking about war, you could be sentenced directly for 15 years in jail, because Russian authorities have forbidden to use even until the word war to qualify what's happening in Ukraine, with this new law on fake news that has been adopted yesterday by Russian state. So it's not only about judging what is fake news or not from the Kremlin. It's also about when you speak about the Russian army, you must not put a discredit on the peacekeeping operation that they are spreading. So this is the official version of the event that the Russian state is vehiculating, and the media are supposed to give only this version, to give only Russian sources, which you understand makes it completely impossible to make any objective, real reporting, real publishing in Russia now.
This is where we hear the denazification of Ukraine.
Exactly. You are supposed to speak about special operations, denazification, Ukraine attacking Russia. I mean, all this parallel illusionary storytelling that Kremlin is building now in Russia. And if you don't, so you now risk heavy prison sentences. So that leads media to close, to shut down, to leave Russia, and so on. And I think that now we are heading to some informational vacuum and close up, and people will not have access anymore to any Russian-speaking reliable sources of information. Furthermore, Russian state also shut down Facebook and Twitter yesterday.
Yeah, Vladimir Putin in power 20 years. You've been based in Moscow for a decade.
Halfway.
Have you seen something like this to this extent before?
No, this is unprecedented. I mean, there were, of course, the situation with freedom of speech and expression of press were far from being ideal in Russia. It was very, very hard. For example, the web television Dozh TV Rain, who has had to shut down a few days ago. Before that, they were broadcast on TV, and a few years ago, they had to go on internet. They could not broadcast on TV anymore. You would have journalists being prosecuted. The law on fake news was already adopted in 2019. It was targeting the publications about the COVID-19 and all what you would say about the fail of the Russian state to fight with COVID-19, but you would risk only fines and not jail sentences. So you see the evolution of this logic. But now, so the freedom of expression was very, very, very short already, but now we are in war times, and it's what we see today is almost the martial law has not been physically adopted, but the situation and with the closing of the country, with the shutting down of the free press, it's equivalent to some like war state where you would have no press, no message, and nothing but the official version of it.
Yeah, on that note, as you say, no martial law, but some of the people are wondering if that's coming. What is daily life like at the moment for an ordinary person in Russia?
Well, now people are very anxious about what's happening. According to an official poll, Vladimir Putin has still 70% of confidence from the people. So I think this is the effect of state propaganda, which is very, very heavy on war times. But at the meantime, when you speak to people in the streets, and my colleague was just saying me so that a lot of people were and especially young people were saying don't abandon us, don't leave us, and we are afraid of what's going on because people see that the country is closing, the international flights are cancelled.
And would these people mainly be in the cities, the sort of educated elite, or
yes, it was mainly about now we are speaking about people that we heard in Moscow, and in this city for the past 30 years now they are living in a consumer society, a very Western-like society model. It's a very modern city that lives 20 round the clock, and so people were used to this way of life. You don't tackle politics, you can just live like in any Western country in the big cities in Russia. So these people who are also maybe traveling abroad, etc., they don't want to be behind the Iron Curtain anymore. And so now people are really anxious. People are trying to leave, and we see again that international flights are being cancelled. And we see on social media, and when we speak to people, we know that a lot of people just want to live anywhere, but not to stay in a country which is like a Soviet-like country, like their grandparents were living 50 or 60 years ago.
Yeah, very troubling history appearing to possibly be repeating itself. Thank you very much, Elena. Moscow Bureau Chief Elena Volochine.